Welcome back to the episode of Unranked Podcast. We're going to do today, we're going to chat a little bit about Michigan's spring game, dive in a little bit on the Lions and some of their, draft rumors that we've been hearing. Obviously, the draft being tomorrow. We're not going to beat a dead horse, but just touch a little bit on some of the stuff we're hearing going into tomorrow. And yeah, I'm going to do a little exercise where I listed off all 18 players that were Michigan players that are at the NFL Combine, and I'm gonna guess and see where they might go. So I took some time last week to just sit down and go through some team needs and see if I can guess, where a couple of our Wolverines will end up. So that being said, yeah, I'll kick it off to you. What were your thoughts and key takeaways just from the spring game this past weekend?
Yeah, no, I'd say first and foremost, just good to kind of see the boys back out there. I mean, obviously it has not been that long. I think the championship game was on like 13th. But
Yeah.
just kind of, just to see the new chapter of what we have going on as a team. Championship monkey off our back, I guess is safe to say, with new head coach, new coaches are pretty much down the line, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Um, we might get into a little later, but potential top five, top 10 quarterback gone, all time leading touchdown as running back gone. So we big hole to void. But it was interesting just to kind of see some of the guys that we've seen sprinkled in wash up time last year, just going out there trying to make a name for themselves. Uh, I guess just they're not going to show too much, but it was interesting just to kind of see, Sharon Moore just interact with the players, type of play calls they want to run, what type of identity they're beginning to build now. So key takeaways is I'm stealing this from I think Joe Klatt said it, but it the quote was everything is different and nothing has changed. And I think that was a good way to kind of sum up what I seen as well. Still smash mouth identity, still looked like Michigan football. We weren't going out there and spreading the field 60 times. We weren't doing
Mm-hmm.
anything too crazy. It really did look. If you didn't say anything to me, I would have thought Harbaugh was coaching. It's kind of the vibes I got out of it. So I don't know if you want me to get into just any specifics yet, but overall, just was excited to kind of see the new chapter. And I mean, we got a big season ahead of us with the new Big Ten.
Yeah.
I think Texas damn near out the gates. I think we got them week 2, Washington week 4, championship rematch. So I just it's good to see kind of that it looks like we're identity is still largely there, and we'll adopt what we've already had going.
For sure. Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's good to kind of get removed from all the chaos because you won the championship and you had like, I mean, just a mass exodus from like then until, I mean, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
They had a little trouble there with the coaching staff, just kind of putting them together. A couple, guy backed out. Another guy, had some personal issues going on, and yeah, it was good to just be able to, you know, see these guys. We hear a lot about just what some guys do in the spring ball. You read different things online, just with like some of the insiders and such. But yeah, it was good to see some of this new talent. A lot of these we lost 18 players. Or like, yeah, I mean, pretty much like 18 starters. So a lot of new blood out there, and a lot of players I'm looking forward to seeing take the next step as well.
Right.
Um, yeah, I guess to kind of start to roll into that. Starting with the quarterback, Orgy, he looked solid. I'll say I feel like there's a little bit of a discrepancy in like receiving talent. I feel like Davis Warren had a little bit more. Orgy, he had like an electric run. I mean, that's obviously what I think what I know he's gonna bring to the table is just being able to get out the pocket, extend plays. Accuracy looked okay. But I know that's something that he's definitely gonna have to work on. I think I saw him in like the 50s coming out of high school. He hasn't really thrown any passes. I think maybe threw one or two passes in a game, or in games, the last couple seasons. So we'll see there. But Davis Warren impressed me.
Yeah.
Um, that's about walk on, earned a scholarship. He got it out the mud. Was get to had Hutchin Ojabo coming off the edge playing scout team
Yeah,
quarterback. So,
that's
he's
true.
battle tested too. It might be able to push for that starting job.
Yeah, no, I think so. That's the second point I have on my thing here is QB1 question mark.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't really think about the receiving core that each quarterback rolled out there with. I kind of think the batch, although one batch could be better than the other, is just such a up in the air group.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching one video and I didn't even realize this. I think they said we had 4 receivers gone from the team last year. So that's hard to even think about.
Five guys.
Yeah, there's
You
5 of them.
can't.
Okay, so yeah, even more. So yeah, we had an entire receiver room disappear. And a lot of older guys.
Yeah.
Roman Wilson had been on the Michigan team at least 4 years. He might have been there 5 years. Uh, oh my God, Canarius Johnson as well. Definitely was a 5th year guy. So just
Mm-hmm.
interested to see some of the new guys pop up. Whether it's Fred Moore, Samaj Morgan, obviously had splashes, big splashes last year in different moments. And then Peyton O'Leary, which was a guy that I know you talked about from last spring game
Yeah.
that
Didn't do nothing.
didn't really hit the field that hot this year, but maybe another year of all that under his belt, he can come out and try to be one of the key figures in the receiver room. But just to step back to the quarterback, the notes I made was so Alex Orji was 11 of 17, 95 yards, 18 yards rushing. Arguably could have had a touchdown rush. That I don't know if you've seen the play or not, but they said he got sacked when he was in the red zone. So
That was like
I mean,
Sharon Moore called it. Yeah.
yeah, he's a grown man. He could have probably in the game. He's probably lowering his shoulder to get out. But that's neither here nor there. And then Davis Warren, I think it was 6 of 9, like 142 yards, had a good deep bomb. Um, and then Donegal's kind of the guy. If you really would have asked me, I would have said um, that's who looked the best to me last year when he came out and played. I didn't like not like Davis Warren at all when he got playing time and cleanup duty. But Donegal might be that weird place where we know what Alex Orji is. Electrifying, hard to tackle. Uh, if he starts all whatever 14, 15, 16 games, there's not doubt in my mind he's not going to be up north of 5, 6, 700 yards rushing, handful of touchdowns. And his question is, can he consistently step back and sling it? Uh,
Yeah.
Davis Warren, exact opposite question. We know he can't run for nothing. No athleticism as far as expecting him to go get yards. He did seem to be a maneuver a little bit, but
He can
then
move.
much
Yeah.
more sure-handed passer. And then Donegal's kind of in the middle, where his arm is not as good as Davis Warren. He's not as athletic as Orgy.
Yeah.
Orgy is also much younger. I think so. If you're going to start somebody, maybe you can have Orgy 3 more seasons versus Davis Warren or Donegal. Each would have like a year left. This year would be their year, I think. Um, and so it's kind of be interesting quarterback room. And then I do want to shout out what's the freshman? Um, Jaden Davis, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. His did not look, what it is what it is. I think he only had like 11 yards, but he that's one of those guys, just him getting all this extra work now. I mean, theoretically, he shouldn't be showing up to campus for another 2 months.
Right.
So I'll be super excited to see what he can do. I imagine he'll probably redshirt unless all hell breaks loose, or unless he's just that guy. One or the other. But I do want to just kind of put that name out there as somebody that might come and steal it all in a year or so, just as we let him kind of groom on that bench and simmer. Uh, but yeah, no, the quarterback room is a big question, man, because I think is for. I mean, JJ, he speaks for himself. Like what, 27-1 as a starter, and probably going to be a top 10 pick this tomorrow. So that's a lot of big shoes to fill, regardless of what the stats look like.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking this on this like Go Fish website. They got a depth chart projected or updated as of 2024, and I guess they got Orgy at QB1. Backup is like Tuttle or Warren. After that, Denegal, and then Davis. I don't know. Like I think it's kind of like seeing this. It's like, man, like kind of need Davis to hit because it like Orgy's going into um I think he might have a 5th year available. But he's going, I think he's going into like his junior year. Tuttle, not really wanting to see him, you know. I heard Denegal was kind of up and down in camp. Um, so yeah, we're a little more thin there than
Yeah,
I thought, and it's kind of tough with the spring game because, like I said, we all know Origin can run, but like
yeah,
you just need to be able to see, I just like he needs to be able to keep us on the schedule, like because that run in, I mean, that's just a good way to get hurt, turn the ball over, like obviously I think we're gonna be run heavy, but him being able to complete them easy passes and keep us on schedule is gonna be super important.
yeah.
So
I do think. I mean, obviously, the sample size we've seen in real games has been nothing but option, spread option, smash
right,
mouth football. And he does that great. But you can't do that a whole game. You probably can't go to that well, but maybe 5 times in a whole game.
yeah,
And so I do think he's a big question mark as far as if he hits. I know people were calling him saying more or less he was what's the Bama quarterback, a Melrose. He could be
Milrow.
Melrose. Okay, if he's anywhere in that ballpark, we right back where we were. So I don't want to put those expectations on him, but I do think it's
Yeah.
he is the big question mark. If he goes, we go.
Hmm.
I do think we're gonna be a solid team anyway, but I think like you said, those keeping those chains moving. I mean, JJ got the third down every single time we needed it. He got
Yeah.
the fourth every time we needed it.
It's gonna be a lot of
Just
like,
on schedule, on money, and so I think uh, that is the big question mark: is who can do that consistently enough, regardless of what that is. Yeah.
you're
So,
probably gonna win a lot of rock fights. That's probably gonna be like, 24-10,
mhm.
21-17. I feel like offense might kind of sputter, especially if they ain't trying to figure out who be QB1. That could be more of just them not wanting to tip anything off, but like, we are breaking in some quarterbacks with little to no experience and got Texas second week of the season, not so much Northern Illinois like it used to be.
Right,
So
right.
it'll be yeah, it's gonna be interesting to kind of see how this turns out. But like I said, I do like I do like what I saw from Warren. He surprised me. I think you know, he would be surprised if just his accuracy, might give him the upper hand. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe we see both of them. Yeah, I don't love seeing that, but
No,
you
I
know,
agree. I mean that deep ball he dropped was right on the money.
hmm
A good 40-something yarder. I mean that's the type of anybody can hit those. I don't want to say anybody, but a lot of people can hit those scheduled,
that keeps
drag routes over the middle, whatever. Those are those deep balls, seeing that consistently. That's
that
what
can keep a
blows
defense
top off
light
the defense.
box.
Yes, especially when we have, arguably one of the best returning running backs in the Big Ten, and
Hmm.
um, just all the weapons we might have. So
Yeah,
that's the yeah, that's great, all great points.
for sure.
And
I was
and then
going.
just sorry.
No, I was going to say we just was going to just roll into another position group. We can talk, running backs. They we know what they
Yeah,
look like. We've seen Edwards, Mullings. I do like Hall a
yeah,
little bit.
Benjamin Hall. Yep.
So that they kind of got those guys third. We won't jump on this too much, but Cabana, ain't really seen him. I don't think Marshall, the freshman from Ohio, uh,
Yeah,
even dressed. Um, but I don't know. Cabana, think he might just kind of have some injury issues, but I thought that was somebody I was kind of maybe looking forward to, seeing a little bit, seeing
yeah, I agree.
if it
Because he's a
shakes.
Michigan kid, right? I think, but
Dexter.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I agree with you. One of those things where I'm not shocked if he might not touch the field ever, or I did kind of get just watching the highlight tape and everything. I
Yeah.
did kind of get the feel that he would have some splashes, some moments where you would expect him to get busy, maybe on a punt return, or maybe
Mhm.
some slot action, or just some wild stuff just to kind of get him in space. But
Yeah. I
I
think
do
he was like
think,
a best player in the area, like type. He might
yeah,
have a little track speed. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he returned kicks or something.
yeah. I'm not trying to down the kid because 100%. He might be one of those. I don't know. Maybe could have been at Central type. Like I don't know. Like he's
Yeah.
maybe he swung for the fences, and this is what it is.
for sure.
Yeah,
And like
but
we just don't, he
we just
might
don't know. Yeah,
pop, yeah. But like, I heard he was hurt quite a bit and was just like looking forward to seeing him.
it is.
But
It
it
is.
looks like
It's unfortunate. But I do want to see him. Maybe in some of the I don't know what early games we could throw him in, but that first game of the year, maybe just see what he can do. Get him a little game time. I wouldn't want to roll him out there versus Texas necessarily, but
yeah.
um, just kind of a
And you got
players
that
like that. You gotta see what they can do. If they can work their magic or not, because he was electric on the highlight tape.
you got
Yeah.
that track speed. I mean, throw him back there at kick return. And we'll figure it out from there. I
Yep.
think that'd be so.
Big fan.
Um, or even two, another. I was just gonna look at receiver. Um, I mean, they already had another guy enter the transfer portal today. They're down. You just said it. We're down to like five guys, five, six guys. I think total at receiver. Um, looks like Fred Moore. I think Fred Moore is gonna be like wide receiver one, or at least they have him as like the X. Morris at the Z. Then I got Morgan in the slot. These guys they got to step up. I
Yep.
think like Samaji had some flashes, but he was also just dropping a lot of pass. He's a freshman, but hopefully there's some like he can be relied on, pretty heavily to come through. But it was good seeing Moore just take that little shallow cross, 50,
Yep. That was
60.
a nice play. Yeah.
I think number 12, Bell. I think that's Ronnie Bell's little brother. I think that's
Okay.
who caught the
Yeah. The deep
50
ball.
something yard or
Yeah.
40 something yarder that Davis Warren threw. So that was pretty, he's solid. But yeah, I think wide receiver gonna be a portal. I think they're gonna have to look at a guy or two in there. Just a couple of these guys start getting hurt, you could be in some trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little more thin than I even realized until kind of watching some of the coverage and all that good stuff. But Um, I do think the one good thing we have going for us is Loveland is more or less a receiver. He can
Mm-hmm.
line up out at receiver a lot or flexed a lot. He is obviously we know a nightmare is mismatch for most defenses. And then not to jump ahead too much, but kind of grouping the receivers and tight ends in together.
Yeah,
I
for
guess
sure.
tight end two, it's kind of up in the air a little bit, but I know people were kind of talking about Marlon Keene, that
Yeah.
German kid, which I swore came here as a defensive end, but I don't know how that goes. But just people seem to say he's a freak of nature. I think he's like 6'6", 250. They claim he runs
He,
like a 4'4" something.
he caught like
Um,
7, 8 passes on
yeah, yeah.
Saturday.
So definitely had flashes where okay, you're like, if he can come in and be a sound tight end, hopefully, obviously he's good size, but block as well, and then you can kind of use Loveland more or less as that Y flex tight end, different packages that way.
Yeah.
Which we like to do anyway. We like to have that tight end out there and then trot him in, have him come line up behind the guard. We do a lot of weird shit with our tight end. So we got to have a couple of those in the deck, and that just kind of goes with the overall game plan. So I'm hoping between he can step up at tight end to kind of move Loveland just to kind of be kind of that combo receiver tight end for us. And then another guy who I'm not he's a top, I feel pretty safe to say 50, 60 pick next year. He's the
I
truth.
think
He's gonna be a
I think
great tight
Loveland
end.
could. I
Yeah,
mean, who was surprised if he messed around and went for 1,000 just off of
I
like,
agree.
I could see him, 7, 8 catch games, 80,
Mhm.
90, 100 yards, just because, yeah,
Especially that safety blanket, when the
sure. I
quarterback
think,
quarterback's a little iffy, that's the
oh
tight
yeah,
end's one of the best friends, receiver, play action, so I definitely could see that.
and I think I'm all, yeah, I'm buying all the Klein stock. Like I think he's gonna be the real deal. I think, yeah, like I think a lot of stuff you said, just everybody, he's a freak of nature. I didn't know he might have been a DM when he came in, but
I just
um,
remember, and I could be wrong about that. I just remember
from
when we
Germany
kind of got
though,
that when we got the guy from Germany. I swear that he was the defensive end, but I don't know if we have another one or I did that, but I
yeah,
kind of just crossed my head. But um,
it, yeah, I wouldn't. I'm kind of remembering something similar, but yeah, it's yeah, they got. I don't know. I feel like we always gonna keep us some solid tight ends. Like even as freshman, I don't think. I mean, he didn't really do nothing crazy that jumped off the screen, but like Prieskorn, and I heard we like got him from Bama, and then Guy in front of him, Marshall. Like they got some like real athletes that can like catch the foot. Like kind of we Michigan. All they've been doing a good job of finding the new age tight ends that can get you like 50, 60 catches for 70 or 800 yards a season.
Yeah.
And like you said, a good security blanket. So we'll
But I
see.
mean, I didn't realize Loveland had 45 for 680 or 45 for 650 last year. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty damn solid.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good production. So and that's only going
hmm
to tick up. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
So yeah, yeah. So like got some weapons. Obviously, want to see more receivers. Like we've been, so it looks like we kind of just been hit. The portal starting to just do its thing where Angelo Anthony, Darius Clemens. I think there's a couple other receivers that just Carmelo
yeah.
English. I think I saw
Yep.
just
Yep.
so portal's
I
kind
forgot
of
about that name. Yeah.
yeah starting to hit us that way. But O line jumping there next. All new guys, but I mean all these guys. I'm looking Hinton, Creeby from Northwestern, graduate transfers. Crippen, they said Crippen would have probably could have probably played if they didn't get the guy from Stanford last year. Um, El Hadi, he's a redshirt junior. Gentry, redshirt sophomore. So they just don't have experience, but at least they got
Right.
some years. So they might go get a transfer, just to kind of just get a little more like game experience to solidify the
Mhm.
line. But I feel good about it.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I mean, we had the meanest and best offensive line the last handful of years, and I kind of think I would imagine that we have that farm system kind of working where we
Hmm
there's not too much of a fall off. Even last year, uh, we were interchanging the O line kind of like we do the D line, where
Yeah.
keeping guys kind of fresh. Couple guy goes down or get hurt, the next guy up. Does not too much of a drop off. Playing musical chairs. So I
Right.
think we uh, I'm slightly nervous by that, but that's every year. Every year you got to be nervous that your O line is going to got to be
You just
cohesive
don't
and
know.
a solid unit. So that's one of those things where I'm thinking this just the coaching. I mean, Sharon Moore, I don't know what he played, but I know ex offensive line coach, ex tight end
Hmm
coach. I imagine he's going to be heavily influenced in that room as far as just coaching and technique. So I imagine that they'll still be sound
Yeah.
and kind of pick up where we left off. So
Sure. Yeah, no, yeah, we'll see there. And like you said, it's, obviously we know all these guys can move people. It's just a matter of everybody being on the same page,
mm-hmm.
blocking wise, doubling, getting to the second level, all that type of stuff. But Edwards, he popped out of there a couple different times where, we saw him bottled up quite a bit, last season. So it was good to even see him pop off a couple. So that shows me the O line. They got some solid continuity in there to be able to, you know, let these guys run the ball pretty well on Saturday. Defense. Um, I mean, honest, I don't even think Kenneth Grant really played. I don't think Graham played.
No,
Um, so defense could be a little. I think defense. What I saw a lot of was a lot of the depth. Like we got this guy. His name is TJ Guy, number 42. I've been hearing a lot about him. I think he got like a sack. He might have like a sack or two. Um, I've heard the guy Zeke Berry that we really need to step up now with Rod Moore getting hurt.
yep,
They said he just been really, he been sitting ready, waiting to go. Like he'll probably step right in at the free safety position. Um, it sounded like we will be good there. The nickel, that was another spot where we might have to do a little addressing at, in the portal, but Urban Burrows is solid, and they might be able to move some of these guys at safety or free safety, over into that nickel position. And we got people, I don't know, like it was kind of a low key return, but Quentin Johnson, he's like a fifth or sixth year
mm-hmm.
guy. He kind of came back last minute. Um, that's been huge. The fact he did that just with Rod Moore getting hurt. So I don't know. I'd say my takeaway overall is we got some good depth at edge. Linebackers, we're gonna be good there. They say Barham is a monster. Um, so yeah, it's just be a matter of maybe addressing a couple needs. I think we offered a D lineman, and they might have to get somebody else in the secondary.
Yeah.
Also, the guy last thing here, Waller transferred out today. He played in
I
like
didn't.
11 games last year. He started like 9 or something. So
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't even know that. No, I think so. I mean, obviously we can't play what ifs, but Sab stays, Rod Moore doesn't go down, you know, things like that. I think I feel a lot better. But what I do feel good about is Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, and Mason. So I think those three players, I feel very safe to say our first round picks next year.
Mhm.
Or very damn close to it. So I
For sure.
think we kind of have sprinkles of, I don't want to say this, but necessarily, but sprinkles of greatness throughout that team. So I think Will Johnson's going to take the best receiver off the field. We ain't going to run into somebody as good as Marvin Harrison. Um, and he's been going up against Marvin Harrison for 3 straight years. Adunze got him in the championship. He's been through the fire, through the storm. So I feel very safe to say he will lock up a third of that field. Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, they're going to cause hell in the upfront to make quarterback. I know every week for this whole entire season, one of the first things that offense has to address is what they're going to do with those two guys. And I think just with that in play, that makes everybody else better. That makes the ends that much better. That makes the linebackers that much better. So I think we have sprinkles of really great players, difference makers throughout this team. It's just like you said, it's a matter of kind of getting that depth and picking up the slack in a couple of places and just having. I mean, our recruiting classes have been good. People have not got on the field just due to the NFL players being in front of them. Not so much due to them not being good. It's
Yeah.
there's first round talent, second round, third round talent spread all throughout the squad. And
Yeah.
I'm just kind of stuck in the hard place. So I'm ready. Hopefully, those players in a little bit of later years can come here and make the most of that 1 or 2 seasons that they have left after they've been sitting behind so and so for 3 or 4 years, and just kind of come and make a name for themselves on this new identity. But that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm not too nervous about the defense. Like I said, with these three studs that we have, it's just a matter of putting together the rest of the unit around them. So, uh, and I guess then that'll be the time to kind of talk about the defensive coordinator. I think we're keeping that same kind of flow, that breath, that scheme that we had before. I think he's probably have a little bit of his own wrinkles,
He
but
created it.
yeah. So we just keep going further and further up, deeper and deeper into the root. But no, so I'm excited to kind of see the wrinkles that he has within that defense
Yeah.
and what he can do with what we got. So
NFL coordinator, like 15, 20 years in the game. Like, I mean,
that's great.
he's not going to see anybody better than what he's already saw. So that's just kind of a cool thing to look forward to. Um, but yeah, no, I'm with you. Like I said, a lot of them guys, like, there's a lot of talent sitting behind. Because a lot of them
Mm,
guys, like, obviously, they're great players. They're great players. They were there 4 or 5 years. And that's, what I'm saying? Like, when you in a program like Michigan, like, you got like, yeah, we had 15, 18 guys that, grad transfers, seniors that were in there just because they had all that experience. Now you got all these guys just oozing with talent, it sounds like, just waiting in the work. So I'm excited to, I'm always big on just the defensive line, like the defense, like, because I think they're going to end up carrying us this year, like they really, to an extent, have been,
yeah,
the last couple of years. So that got pretty confident in what they look like overall.
yeah.
Hope,
No, big
but
fans.
cornerback, it sucks losing Waller. That would just makes no
No,
sense. But they'll hopefully they can find some guys in the portal.
yeah.
Uh,
Did it say where he transferred to?
I've been reading that it's probably an SEC school. I think
Yeah,
Kentucky took a couple guys from us. I've heard like Kentucky or Tennessee.
yeah. So I mean, he'll post a picture of him in a G wagon in like 3 days. So
Yeah,
it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
exactly.
It is what it is. That's not necessarily the game we play, but I understand that's the game we're playing in. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I'm excited to see roll out with what we do have. I mean, this
Yep.
season is obviously coming off best season I've ever seen in Michigan football, arguably the best season in Michigan football. It's it's just going to be different with the breath of, I don't want to say fresh air, but like the change up of the Pac-12 dissolving and kind of us taking their big dogs and just that happening the same year we happen to have Texas on the schedule. It's just one of those years where it's we have a gauntlet this season. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm that spring game got me ready though. That spring game got me a little hype.
Sure.
This draft is
Yeah,
gonna give me a little hype. It's obviously nowhere near football season, but this is the time of year where they sprinkle those little bit of excitement just to keep you on the hook. And
absolutely.
before, yeah, so that's exactly what it's doing here.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, we'll just dive in a little bit. Um, some of the stuff we just hear about the Lions. I just had a couple things just around sounds like we might be on more of the aggressors as we have been in the past. They might be looking to trade up more into the first round. Um, to where I don't know, some people were thinking it might be trading back, trading up, but trading up to where I've been reading, and this is, the eve of the draft, and I trust my sources. Um, we could be the aggressors, when it comes to getting a corner or an edge rusher. So yeah, that's something we've been preaching about. Um,
For a while.
what are your thoughts on that? And would then you be okay with us getting receivers sooner in the draft? Did we do that? I'm playing.
Yeah. No, so I think that's fun. I don't know, man. I think I don't know, it's tough because I question that Jared Gibbs pick hard. Like it didn't make sense to me, and but at the end of the day, it did seem to work out. We got one of the best electric backs in all the NFL. So I don't know, it's interesting. But so my initial thought is I think we can get a good enough player at 29 to fill those needs. But I'm not mad if we move up for one of those two positions. If we move up and I see wide receiver come across that screen, I'm gonna go crazy. But um, maybe they know something we don't know. I forgot the dude's name already. You sent me that other Alabama quarterback, but
Oh yeah, Terry Arnold.
yeah. So I don't know what they know about him, or if they just fell in love when he came up for a visit or his pro day or whatnot. But it's one of those things where to me Kool Aid has a more household name. I've been hearing him, seeing him go up against the best for 3 years, maybe possibly four. He might be a senior, but this other guy, maybe they fell in love with something he can do slightly different, or maybe I'm not putting this on him. Maybe it's a character issue, or maybe they just fall in love with their guys for whatever reason.
For
So
sure.
if they find one of them guys that's in the ilk of a la St. Brown, a la Jameer Gibbs, Hutch, I'm not mad at it. They seem to when they find a guy that they like, it seems to work out most of the time.
Hmm.
Couple still on the fence, JMO, Campbell possibly, a couple of reaches there, but it's one of those things where I guess I'm gonna have to believe, believe in the system, drink the Kool Aid a little bit if we happen to move up. But I think we could get a good enough player without sacrificing, that third round or fourth round pick to move up. Call it 8, 9 spots. I don't know if we're in that exact spot yet. I know I'm kind of talking about both sides of my ass here, but I personally, that's what I would do is sit back and wait, see who's there. Um, but if they love one of these guys that much for whatever reason, and it's one of those two positions, an edge or corner, I'm not mad at them jumping out and getting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm always like a guy, like I like to collect picks. Like I like
Mm-hmm.
multiple bites at the apple.
Yep.
You get 7, 8 picks, 5 hit, you probably go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm looking at it. Like realistically, I think obviously he ain't going. I mean, if we're 29, say we trying to jump to like 10 to 15 range, you're obviously giving
Mm-hmm.
that pick. You're probably giving the second rounder. I think we have 2 second rounders, so I think there's some flexibility there. Maybe you give the late second rounder um up. I think that might be I don't know, it might be the Vikings. I don't know. I'm not totally sure
Yeah.
on that, but like, you always got to kind of sacrifice something. So it's like it better be there. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. Like if it's a corner or an edge rusher, I'm all for it. And I know you kind of went more the corner route. If it is an edge rusher, there are a couple guys I'm a fan of that would be there. I think would be there. A lot of stuff I'm reading is saying that it's gonna likely be like all offense, the top 10.
Hmm. That'd be
Or
interesting.
maybe, yeah, or there might be, they say Dallas Turner might end up going to Atlanta since they don't really have like a crazy offense, need. Um, I think she could quarterback, but that's a conversation for another day. Um,
They
I
got
wouldn't
no.
have
They
paid
just signed that man. They just signed
I
their guy.
wouldn't I wouldn't have paid Kirk Cousins all that money, but it's a Lions
Absolutely.
podcast. So but yeah, so like if it shake out that way, Dallas Turner, Alabama edge rusher, don't need to say much more than that. Jared Verse, I watched him like back-to-back years play LSU like opening weekend and just raise havoc. Florida State, they were, undefeated team. They should have been we should have been playing them in the playoff, if we're being honest. He's definitely fits the bill as like, somebody I think will be able to definitely give us that extra we need on the edge with Hutch. So him or Turner, if we move up for one of them, or corner the guy from Toledo, or yeah, Arnold, like I wouldn't be mad at it because that
Yeah,
just showed me like we're serious about trying to address a need and having somebody around for the next 5 to 10 too.
right. And it's I don't know. I think we're in an interesting spot because we've said it before, but like I do think we probably over exceeded last year a little bit, even though someone could argue if we did the right thing, we could have made the Super Bowl at least. But definitely we over succeeded by being in that position to even fumble it.
Yeah,
So I but now because of that, I think it adds a level of pressure to the whole situation. Where let's just say we won a playoff game last year, then if we make the NFC Championship game or NFC Championship game next year, it's like, oh fuck, we're progressing. Now anything
hmm
short of that again, it looks like a loss. And I think that's a lot of pressure for a team, a lot of pressure for um, that whole situation. So it makes me wonder, I want them to still move with that kind of. It looks like they were playing such a chess move, and I
yeah,
want them to continue to do that strategically. Where um, I'm hearing that he thinks 5, 10, 15 steps ahead. Where we're not going to sign this guy because of we can draft a player equal to him without the money. He's playing the money ball thing. I get that. I just don't want to. I don't want to suffer from the smartest guy in the room syndrome again, where we jump out the window and overthink it when Kool-Aid sitting there at 29 and we move up and take his counterpart, and then it's like and then we're sitting there with a dud, and I don't
yeah,
know. So it's one of those things where if you do that, you have to know you're right. Versus if you sit back at 29, like you said, more bites at the apple. Maybe Kool-Aid isn't what we thought it was, but we got a 61st pick. We went and got so and so.
yeah,
And but versus putting all your eggs in one basket, that guy has to hit. And
yeah.
you know, I think I don't know. That's just something I'm from just my paranoia talking as far as what I'm afraid of a little bit. But I think this draft around the corner. I mean, when's the last time you ever heard the Lions picking 29? Doesn't even sound
Yeah,
right. So
kind of sucks. So
yeah,
it's like 10:30
yeah. No, I'm used to first couple of picks, turn the
unless
draft
they
off.
just unless
Yep.
they just jump to like 15 out of nowhere. But yeah, I think I feel like I'd rather see us draft like 7 guys. We being pretty conservative with it. But I also know too, like I mean, the Rams picks have kind of ran out now.
Mhm.
So like, that's something I also kind of think about, just like being strategic with how many we can play with at a time. And I'm sure like, we don't have 2 or 3 compiled to be moving how we usually would. So I wouldn't be surprised. I prefer for them to move back to like 40th, pick up 2 extra picks in the process, you
Yes.
know, shift around a third, get a couple fourths, pick swap. Just
No, I agree with you on that
bring
because I do
in,
think for as high level as we are in some positions, I do think we such a big question mark with that receiver. You trade back, you can you can go back and mess around and get one of those receivers.
Mhm.
One of the middle of the road guys just to be your third receiver here, just to fill that room up a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
I've been seeing rumors. This is kind of off. I've been seeing rumors of us signing or drafting a kicker. In one mock draft, I seen them in the fourth round, the Alabama kicker. um, you know, Something like that where I'm not necessarily maybe fourth round is great. I'm not necessarily mad at that, but it's one of those things where um, I don't know, just the it's such a limited amount of picks. I don't know. I think you got to make the most of them, and if you can maximize that, let's say Thunder style, where you can get as many picks as possible, you can kind of control the market.
Yeah.
So, um,
They went to Stanford had a pro day and it was only their kicker and
Stanford's the guy. Okay.
the Lions. Well, there's a guy from Bama too that's solid. That I wouldn't mind them getting either, but I guess this guy like the Lions are the only one that showed up to the pro day, and like he was like 43 or 45 last year or something like that, like extra points and field goals. So
Yeah.
I could definitely
29
see
picks.
them getting him in like the set. See, you that stuff is not even supposed to be next subject.
Yeah, and we still just go for it on fourth all the time.
Right, yeah. Oh my
But no,
gosh.
I think tomorrow's going to get interesting with this draft.
Hmm.
You know, I think since we started this, we were sitting there live watching Hutch get drafted second.
Yeah.
Sitting there, uh, probably live when J-Mo got drafted. I don't remember for sure, but probably. Um,
Might have still been on, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's one of. Did we move back up?
We
But
definitely
anyway,
did because we would have had a pick in
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's just I don't know. I think now we look at the results of all that. Now we're picking latter half of the draft, some playoff dubs under the belt, division title under the belt. I think you want to prove you're not the same old Lions. It's doing something twice, and
Hmm.
and it's getting back there and not having a dud this year. And they seem to be taking care of business. You're not going in with any distractions. St. Brown is locked in. Sewell is locked in. I guess they are putting
All
golf on
from
the back
away.
burner. Yeah, but
Yeah.
one of those things where we're getting the key pieces off the table to have another run here. But
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know,
no,
man.
I'm excited, and I think me too. Like I'm just looking forward to just having a solid team to be proud of for the
Yeah,
next 5 to 7, and whatever that looks like. And it was cool to see some of them cornerstones being locked up today. Like we're gonna have Sewell locked in until 2029. He won't even be 30 years old yet.
that's
So
wild.
that's
We
good
drafted him
look.
so young. He's a good, great, just franchise cornerstone from the O line. Just
For sure.
yeah, just athletic freak. Yeah, bro. I mean, we got some pieces, man. We really do. And we'll be seeing the same thing with Hutch in a year or so. He'll be signing a similar type deal. So I think, uh,
115, 120
yeah, going crazy.
for sure. Probably all pro this year, especially to get him a little get him a help on the other side.
Yeah, I mean Reader, uh,
McNeil.
Carlton Davis. I mean, we went it. They made some moves.
And
So I think
we've
now is
like
when
quietly
you kind
upgraded.
of steam it all together and make those right
Yeah.
picks in this draft. And I think we seriously can make that next step of getting to a Super Bowl again, or getting to a Super Bowl for the first time, getting back to that championship game again. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
You get a corner and an edge rusher hit, and I'll say this season too, everybody stay healthy. And hell, last year, team wasn't healthy until week 12. So like we get we get a couple players, everybody stay healthy, couple guys hit, keep adding depth. I
yep,
don't see why we can't be in the Super Bowl next year. Like I can say that, like I'm saying that with a straight face. So they're like, I mean, this is like our like we are like top two best teams in the NFC, if you ask me. Like,
yeah.
right, yeah, Niners and it's us.
I mean, I'll put us
Everybody
up there
else
for
is
anybody, especially like you said, we make the right moves here.
Mhm.
We didn't use Gibbs until like what, like fucking mid October. I mean,
Yeah.
we've done some weird things, and then sometimes we use them too much when we should have been using another guy. I think
Yeah.
we got to work that. We got to work that kind of the system out, but we got
Fine
everything in
tune.
place. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we got continuity. That's something
That's a
that.
great word for it. Fine tune exactly
Yep.
what that looks like between those two guys. Um,
Hmm.
and just finding ways to get JMO involved.
Yep.
And if he's not wide receiver two, that's fine. Throw his ass at kick return, throw his ass on punt return. Let's get him the
Jet
ball and let him be
sweeps.
electric. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Figure
You
something
just got to
out. Make
find ways
him
to use the speed, use these
throw
guys
the
we do
top
have.
ball.
Yep.
Come run 4 or 5 fades a game.
Facts.
Something. I'm with you. Yeah. It's gonna be
Yeah.
exciting. New uniforms too.
Yeah.
It'll be
I might
yeah,
give me
it's a
one of
lot.
them black ones. I gotta figure. I
Yeah,
gotta find a play. I gotta find what player, but I might give you the black ones.
yeah.
And
I like the black one a lot. I'm with you there.
yeah.
The
You got anything else for the people?
yeah, I'm about to rattle off this
Oh shit, my bad, my bad.
little. So yeah, I sat down every Michigan player in the draft, all 18. I'm just gonna rattle off where I think they should go. Like I said earlier, some may have two teams. Um, most only have one. Um, I'm pretty much going best player down. So I'm starting with McCarthy. It's go here than McCarthy. When it comes to him, it's the team where I think he's gonna go and where I think he should go. So I'll preface that before jumping in. But then from here, yeah, I'm just gonna go down the line. Okay, McCarthy, Giants or Rams? Colson, Seahawks, Jenkins, Chargers or Dolphins? Wilson, Chiefs or Chargers? Sarah still. Lions or Bengals? Zinter, Ravens, Corum, Chargers or Cowboys? Barner, Titans, Jones, Packers, McGregor, Seahawks, Keegan, Packers, Johnson, Steelers, Harrell, Patriots, Barnhart, Texans, Barrett, Chargers, Nugent, Eagles, Wallace, Niners, Henderson, Dolphins.
Wait, I like a couple of those.
So some of them, they just in a nutshell, I'm definitely not going to try to explain all of them, but obviously you got Mike McDonald, head coach for the Seahawks, Harbaugh, head coach for the Chargers now. Some of these were, I've seen the Patriots draft a lot of O linemen, drafted an edge rusher from Michigan last couple weeks, couple edge rushers from Michigan last couple years, Winovich, Uche. Um, so some of this is just kind of what I've seen in the past. Um, yeah, I think Corum might be the second coming to Emmitt Smith. So I feel like, if he don't get picked up by Harbaugh, I think,
Yeah,
he makes sense
to
for him to have
be
a
a boy.
start.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hate to have to force myself to root for them a little bit, but
Right.
no, so the ones that stand out to me, Jenner to the Ravens, that does seem like something that just kind of
And
fits to me. Yeah,
their guard left there and he signed with us.
yep.
So that's kind of
And then he, run heavy, kind
hmm
of, that scheme fits. I easily can see him stepping in there. Um, JJ, I like the JJ's. Particularly if he can go and sit a year. I'm still with you on that. Rams, Seahawks, somewhere where he's not thrown into the wolves. I think is best for him.
yeah,
But I'm not going to turn down him making that money, that top five money.
right.
Particularly if one of those Vikings type teams moves up to get him.
Hmm.
I really don't know if we want to see him in our division. He might work out really. So
That's
but
a
I agree.
shame.
And just the idea of you can sit there and list. I don't know how many you got on there, but a good 14 players that we know will get drafted
Yeah.
is that
And I
as
think
as Harbaugh would say, who got it better than us?
for sure, yeah. Yeah. A lot of these guys being O linemen, man, like I think a lot of these guys, Jim Moore, I'm blanking on what the name of it is. I mean, some of these guys won that
Yep.
award, part of that team. So yeah, I mean, we know what Michigan brings to the table when it comes to O linemen. But yeah, looking forward to seeing the results of
Yes.
that. We'll come back next week to talk on that. Obviously, the draft, results, and yeah. Got anything else?
No, sir. I'm looking forward to the draft tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be back at you soon.
Ooh, peace out.
Peace.